My friends, I wanted to say good morning or good afternoon wherever you are. Let me take something to drink, right? Okay, coaches, wellness professionals, chiropractors, registered dietitians, nutritionists, all of you guys that buy content from us. One of the things that people ask me constantly when they go to yourhealthcoachbiz.com is, how do you use this in your work with me? How do you use this in your one-on-one offer? So I wanted to just deep dive into this today because for many of you, you may think that I built my entire business online and did everything online. That's actually not true. What I did is I knew that I wanted to work with people one-on-one. I started doing groups online because people couldn't afford always that one-on-one price, or they weren't the right fit, or I hadn't built enough trust with them yet. Secondly, what I loved about the online space still today is that is where I branched out and was able to be an international coach. And that's because I did videos despite my fear of being scared, put them on YouTube. I knew that people were searching YouTube. I knew that people were searching on SEO friendly platforms. It's also why I always suggest having a Facebook business page, because Facebook and SEO have a really great relationship. So without me going into a complete long rant about my early days of building Rachel's Wellness back in 2010, I want to show you how you can use a program to not only build out your work with me, but to create more of a systemized process for you when you are with your clients one-on-one. It's not uncommon, especially if you work with multifaceted issues, that you may even have a few different programs that solve very specific problems within the signature process that you suggest to your ideal client. And furthermore, these possible obstacles that they may come up against. A perfect example is you may be a gut coach and you have people that come to you with detoxification issues, candida fungus, all that fun stuff, and adrenal or end mindset. The nice thing about when you have access to your programs and they're fully edited, it doesn't mean everything has to be in PDF. It means that they're edited for you to have quick access. That includes handouts, that includes toolkits from even like our detox program, quizzes that are in a lot of your workshops and programs, so that you can look at these as multifaceted tools for you to be able to not only keep your client, upsell, and make them super happy. So let me just share my screen. Today, we're going to look at the women's wellness menstruation, like repair your period zone, because I have a lot of people asking about this program. A lot of coaches that are specializing in fertility, they're specializing in repairing your period, they're specializing in general women's hormone imbalance. So I want to actually show you how easy it would be to map this out in your one-on-one and take you through a very brief process. Give me a second while it's downloading. That being said, everyone, drop where you're watching from and tell me a little about your morning rituals, because at the end of the day, this is one of the biggest reasons people hire us, is they fall short of their own healthy habits. Okay. I'm going to just pull up this right here. This is the Mac version. Okay, so right here we have healthy menstruation. What I always tell somebody to do right when they buy a program from us is think about the possibilities. One program can be multifaceted. This means you might have this program as a higher ticket, higher touch. I don't know if you saw the video that I sent out the other day on my newsletter list with IN grad Deborah Wilson, who charges for her 3-month 1897 or 1870. It's not uncommon that we have coaches that have built up their confidence and know their offers and have stepped into a higher ticket model. We have some coaches that even charge that per month. And when I say coach, I'm giving the broad term for, everyone in their individual area. So just make it easy so I don't have to say chiropractor, functional medicine practitioner, functional nutritionist, you get it. So the way that I look at this is I'm going to look right away at the guide. I'm going to go through before I get into analysis paralysis, because I just saw one of the questions pop in, I'm overthinking my program, like how to make it easy. Keep in mind when you're working with people one-on-one, what I always did for my systemized process is somebody would sign up, of course, for a discovery call. We would figure out the right option for them. Of course, one-on-one was my ideal. If somebody couldn't afford me, that was a do-it-yourself. So you could make this a do-it-yourself or package a do-it-yourself with specific sessions, meaning the do-it-yourself is going to be, let's say, 3 months or even 6, but you're including 1 session a month, or you're including 2 sessions, not emails in between. And of course, that can be an additional upcharge, or you can include it in the package, knowing that that call is you personalizing it. So for me, I'm going to go through the table of contents and I'm going to say, okay, is it easy for me with my type of client? That means that I know my type of client is really busy, overwhelmed. Do I need to break this up? Do I need to spend that extra time to break it up? Or do I actually need to break it up more by session? So of course, I'm going to look at all the information, go through. If I wanted to, of course, I could make this super duper easy and break this down into individual handouts. What I wanted to show you, which is really neat, and you can look at any of our handouts in this way, or you can even make your own handout system, is right here has session 1. It's the getting started. That can even be what you give your clients even before you meet. You can say, which I did, hey, once you pay, I'm going to send you the guide. I'm going to send you the recipe guides, and I'm going to send you what we are going to do for session 1. And in that time, I want you to think about what you need to buy. And of course, I'm going to send you direct links. For those of you in FullScript, you can set that up in FullScript. For those of you who do Emerson, you can do that in Emerson. And for those of you that just want to provide links, trust me, makes it much easier on the client. I may even want to go through here. Maybe even before we get started, I'm going to go and make sure that I'm talking about, what are some of the issues that are affecting you. This I could, of course, expand on. What's your normal cycle? And I could actually include some of my favorite application trackers for tracking your period, tracking your cycle. They're so easy on an app phone, on the phone to be able to do. And of course, you can be able to add in additional questions. How do you add in additional questions to make it easy? You're going to go, what's that? Document. You're going to go back to the material, and you might want to just pull from right here and start to actually, so here's the phases of the menstrual cycle, how to count the days of your cycle, what is a normal cycle, what your cycles may be telling you. And you could even include some of these common concerns and say, do you have absent periods? Do you have painful periods? Take some of this information in here and really refine it. Do you have heavy periods? When do you have them? What type of food are you eating? Have you ever been diagnosed with endometriosis, or do you have thyroid issues, blood sugar? Are you on birth control? And actually go through the guide and make that a quiz, or even make it a form that you send weekly to your client, whether it's in Google form, Jot form, or maybe you're embedding this into a platform like Practice Better or something else. So I'm going to go through each one of these and reorganize, of course, if I feel that they need to be reorganized. So right here on my work with me, of course, you can give the guide, or you can break it up by copying and pasting. So if I actually wanted to break up the guide by sessions, all I would have to do, I'm going to take them through this basic part. I'm going to copy. You can also make a blank document, of course, so that you have the same headers. You also can keep it really simple. Here's your hormone. Please take access it here. Trick number one is that you can put that quiz in even a Google Doc, because the cool thing about a Google Doc is if you have specific links that you're like, hey, have you had absent periods? Here's a link to find out, a little more about that. You can hyperlink. Secondly, you could also make a quiz right in Canva if you're, great at Canva. Or thirdly, any one of our programs that many of you already have also have that quiz. And so you could put that right there and only focus on this as the pre-qualifying, as the handout that you actually give somebody before they're even coming. Then if I wanted to start breaking this down in a second, I could break this down. If I was doing this course style, if I was doing this as a master class, I could break this down as like part 2. Copy. And a lot of you, yes, we talk about covers and everything. I think it's much easier first to organize and visualize the process of your one-on-one, or if you are using a program such as this or any of them, how you can break it down so that you can put it into Thinkific, Kajabi, Practice Better, or that you're just creating a system like this. Let me just go to Google Drive. I'm going to show you how easy it is. Many of you, of course, I hear this over and over, especially for those of you in clinic. So you are in a clinic atmosphere setting, brick and mortar, where you do see people for 1 hour. It's very important to have your process nailed down so that you can have continued success and that you're not spending 3 hours then at night, 3 hours at night doing follow-up. So you could be like, step 1. Step number 2. You can put all the links, hyperlink, by simply just inserting link right there, and that can go directly to a Dropbox. You could also, of course, before session, you can do a quiz and masterclass. So I'm going to show you how you compare things together. See, clearly I have 100 tabs open. If you have 100 tabs open, because that's how your brain works, then we are probably family members. So right here, if you wanted to, of course, make this as a step one, like, hey, you know, before we dive into this, I want you to get an understanding of what working together is going to be like. Let me, you know, once you sign up and you pay, you can have this triggered to go where you have, of course, you have a PMS cheat sheet. Love the little cute hearts. You can, of course, go in and have a quiz. This quiz you can also, of course, use as a Facebook ad, or you can use in your pre-qualifying documents, or you could, of course, at every freebie at the end, lead them to a quiz. So you have these really cool handouts that if you wanted to create a step-by-step process, you could then, of course, go through this entire workshop and explain and set the stage. Sorry about that, guys. Set the stage for your ideal client, understanding what you're going to be teaching. Of course, there's a PowerPoint for that guide, but what's nice about doing something like this is you could break this down into like even 3 little videos. I mean, you see there's so much. So if you wanted to educate, as we always talk about, so that you have your client has more wins, you could, of course, do this and then say, you know, we're going to meet a week after to get started, so that we have this week where you're being educated and you're going to get your probiotics, you're going to get your tongue scraper. We're really going to set the stage for success. That same strategy I also did in my online groups and my offline groups, which I love seeing people face to face. You, of course, can go and then update this slide, add in any additional things, so that you could also make it self-paced or as automated as possible for those of you who are fully booked or want to be fully booked. So if I did that quiz, I would say, like, first watch the masterclass, first, you know, then first watch the masterclass, then you can actually download this quiz. You can make a playbook all in here. So if you actually wanted to, let me just add a slide. This allows video. So for any of you that are using different platforms, you can put that video right there and say, watch the masterclass. What that allows you to do, it's endless really on the possibilities of how you can create a very simple process for you to stay organized, for also your client to get the most wins, and to say, holy moly, this is amazing working with this person. I wonder what it would be like to work with them in another capacity. Whether you have a membership, whether you have a higher touch, higher ticket mastermind, where you're working with 10 women at the price of $497 a month, that's $4,970. Whether you're working with people at $297 a month, 10, that's $2,970. That means a consistent 3K month. When we multiply that, of course, by 12, that's $35,640. Leveraging and making more money in a health and wellness business, just like any business, is really in your systems and processes, even if nothing's fully automated. My Work With Me folder, I had every program and I had it by the problem that it would solve. Of course, I said detox, this is great for, and I had all of those programs edited so that if I was on a discovery call, the chances of me converting, especially if I said, hey, can I show you, you know, the quality and the tangibles that I'm going to give you, because I know how hard change is. It's much easier to show them a Dropbox and they're like, oh my God, so you're giving me all that. Yep. And you're going to get some videos on really the basics. And this is what the transformation is going to look like. I'm going to send you a masterclass and a quiz and some handouts to get you started. Then we're going to start session 1 on this date. You can, of course, then schedule all the sessions appropriately. Some of you might have a model where you have 2 sessions, or you do a 90-minute and then a 60-minute, 90-minute always being the first of the month to really set that stage and have a little extra time. Yes, it's another 30 minutes, but I will tell you, sometimes it's better to have that and increase the conversion for that person to make it a no-brainer. Because remember, we are coaches and we are, wellness professionals, but we also have to think about what's going to make it a no-brainer for a person to buy. And then furthermore, how can we use that content to step out of the overwhelm and say, if this were me on the other side, if I was feeling overwhelmed, had X amount of issues that my ideal client has, what would make it the best possible scenario for them to be able to have a win and not quit on this investment or not feel like they can do it? And that's one of the reasons that even before we had all these fancy platforms, every question that a client would ask me, and I had clients that were little ones, of course their moms were asking me, and I had clients up to 87. And every one of them always would say, when do I take my probiotic? What does tongue scraping look like? I've read the document, but I just need to have visual. What's your favorite coconut oil? Instead of me saying it over and over, I just started creating a library of videos. And that was actually a self-paced program that I created for a women's fitness facility where they wanted to start a membership back in the day when nobody had memberships. And so I did 35 videos, even simple ones like how, when you're eating out, do you not feel in deprivation when you go to, a restaurant and maybe you have to be gluten-free? How do you go to a party and eat healthy? Or what snacks do you have to bring so that we don't get into that place where all humans do and they say, oh, screw it, I'm starving. I thought about all the different problems and the obstacles and spent a lot more of my energy there versus, unfortunately, what I see a lot of us do, because we are overwhelmed and we have not only the building of our business, but we also have the taking care of ourselves. And so it can feel overwhelming. And that's when we go into self-doubt and analysis paralysis. So instead of doing that, give yourself, when you buy a program from us, that one was the Women's Wellness Menstruation and Repair Your Period workshop. But no matter what you have, whether it's an adrenal program that we have, a stress, mindset, habits, emotional cleansing, gut health, ketogenic, AIP, change is hard for our clients. So when you download that program, or if you're sitting with someone in your Dropbox, open it up and really walk yourself through that process of, to make this super easy for this person to feel supported at each step, what do I need to have there? To lessen the emails and the back and forth of answering questions or text messages, or Voxer, which is an audio message platform that you can speak back and forth. Some people even use Slack with their clients. Some people use Practice Better. I always say, keep it simple. If you don't know how to use the platform, as great as it can be, is not going to work for you, especially if you don't know how to use it and then don't have the money to hire somebody. That's going to put a damper on not only your excitement, but your ability to show up and showcase that behind the scenes transformation. Talk about the benefits of your products, talk about the benefits of your freebies, talk about the problems that you wish you would have been able to resolve in your life, in your friend's life, in your child's life. And so I want you to say, I'm going to open up this Dropbox and I'm going to write down what steps I envision this being delivered in. Because I will tell you, when you step into that place of ownership, you will always make money. when we stay in paralysis and we think that there's like one fancy fix for something. There's not fancy fix. Even if you buy a completely done for you template, or even if you buy a done for you program, or you're on the best platform, or you have the best marketing team, we have to step into that ownership. Otherwise, we don't convert, because people don't feel that from us. That transformation, you are your walking billboard. You are your funnel. If you don't know how to say the step-by-step process that you help somebody go through, or the problems that you solve, and you're sitting in self-doubt, or you're thinking that you don't know enough, or you're comparing yourself to people who have, had massive success, look back on the original days. They had massive success because they showed up despite themselves, and they stayed in a infinite mindset versus a finite. They didn't sit in an excuse of, I don't know how to do that. They went to YouTube, which for me was my business coach, my virtual assistant, my marketing strategist, and we figured out a way, and we slowed down our anxiety, despite how debilitating it can be, and would say, let me step back into the service shoes and not the scared entrepreneur. And the scared entrepreneur says, are they going to buy from me? I don't know if this is right. Should I do this? Should I do that? The empowered, healthy mindset, infinite possibility entrepreneur in the wellness space instead says, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I do know what my ideal client is struggling with. And I know that if I calm my stuff down and get out of that inner critic stuff, because we all have it, and really take a chance and show up. And showing up, of course, means something different for everyone. I'll get into that on another training, but that means that you are letting go of the fear that you're going to be your worst nightmares. Those are only the demons. They're just the demons telling you, you don't know enough. That is BS. So I wanted to take today to show you how simple that can be. And that process that you just saw, that's going to be applicable to building out the membership journey, building out a course, thinking about the delivery of a program. That's the beauty of taking that time to step into the shoes of your ideal client and let go of ego and shame and fear and the 7 deadly sins. So let me just see if there's any questions. Again, this topic today was specifically how easy it is to break down the programs and create a systemized process for your one-on-one. Someone saying, I bought several of your programs. I'm having analysis paralysis and can't figure out how to build your funnel. Think of it like this. We're going to make funnels simple. Always do a V. At the top of your funnel is the awareness phase. This is the social media. This is the workshops that you are doing for people who already know, like, and trust you. People in your community, places that you have gone yourself, your acupuncturist, your homeopath, your health food store, your CSA, PTA, networking groups. These are people that are already a part of your life. Doesn't mean they have to be super close, but they know you. The second tier, of course, is people that you want to get to know. These are, of course, people that you have to reach out to, podcast. And so you create that awareness funnel, visibility. The second part is, of course, where they opt into. Those are your opt-in freebies, your workshops, your challenges, your checklist, your downloads, handouts, quizzes. And that is really the step one of people coming into your funnel. You show up consistency on the awareness because, it takes a few for people to stop in their life, and they need to see that consistency. Your freebies and that free stuff, they solve specific problems for your ideal client. If you don't know what are the top problems that your ideal client has, if you are not polarizing down and getting extremely specific within your content, it's going to be really hard to attract your ideal client. The second part after that is you're nurturing them. They come in, they opt in. What are you saying to them in between the, hey, great to meet you. Thank you for downloading this quiz, or thank you for signing up for this workshop, or thank you for signing up for this on-demand, webinar or on-demand masterclass, or, thank you for joining the group here. And then you have a set of emails, and don't overcomplicate them. At the end of the day, people need to get to know you. I'm a huge advocate of videos, or I'm a huge advocate of even somebody screen sharing, hence the example that I said with Repair Your Period workshop. Record it. Give somebody that inside view. They just came onto your list, or they just sent you a DM. You can say, here, watch this class. This is what I'm all about. This is why I do this. You don't have to show your face, but guess what? This is an essential part of nurturing, because when you have that person see you as different, see you showing up consistently with high value information, you're going to stick in their head. And if they're ready, of course, they're going to opt in to that next, whether it's a discovery call, it's joining a Zoom that you have, monthly for a live Q&A. It's going to be a low cost offer membership. They will join. It doesn't ever, and email marketing sequences are different for everyone. There's something called an indoctrination series. Look it up. Russell Brunson talks about it. Ryan Dice talks about it. Google it, Indoc series. and or any of our programs have pre-marketing emails. So you can actually use that as a template and maybe take 3 of those emails and talk about the problems you solve, talk about the experience that you had solving that problem, maybe highlight either your own success story if you don't have clients, or the success story of somebody you helped within your family. Guess what, guys? We all started with no clients. That's it. We all had to do this, and it's a little of a painful process. Don't let that painful process stop you from just listening to your gut, listening to intuition, and coming always with a service-based mindset. Once you're nurturing and they potentially buy, of course, either they're coming to that discovery session, which is free, and you're helping them to see if you're a right fit, which offers, and I just did a 2-part series on the discovery called Handling Objections on the Healthy Hustle at rachaelafeldman.com. It's an unbelievable one. If you're confused on how to make that a closer, whether you're doing a workshop leading to a discovery call or high ticket offers, which may need that discovery call is still, again, you're nurturing that relationship to bring them to the right offer, higher ticket, or you're going to downsell to a lower cost option based on their objections. And so when you're building out that funnel, think if this person's coming to me with my higher ticket, that's probably going to be a 3-month, and that includes some of the shorter programs or the step 1 part of helping this person. An example for menstruation is if you wanted a step 1 self-paced option, it's the 21-day hormone detox. If your person's not a detox person, you look at if this person's not ready to work with me in a 3 to 6 month capacity, what is the best program that fits like a 21 day or 30? Some of you coaches, and I get responses all the time, you crush it with 21 to 30 day programs. That was me. I came in with a 21 to 30 day. I still had a lot of clients who stayed with me a year, 2 years, 9 months, or I would start work with the whole family. But I found that my ideal client, who was extremely busy, would say, oh, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing in 3 months. And a lot of them, of course, were experiencing symptoms such as ones I had. Histamine reactions, rashes. The men that I worked with who were high-powered CEOs, a lot of psoriasis, a lot of the women, multiple autoimmune diagnosis, and there was just a lot of nausea, belly bloat, and a myriad of other issues. Hair falling out, skin being bad. I mean, everything that comes when you walk into the leaky gut autoimmune world. So if you're thinking about how do you make your funnel, it is that easy. If you're looking at, of course, creating funnels by tags, and you're looking at something like ClickFunnels, Kartra, that is going to take a little more work to think what would make the most sense offer. And then what would be the upsell, all being done in automation and email. You don't have to overcomplicate and do that. I always say my best converting is getting people on one-on-one. I knew that not only would I have high value market research in real time, two, I would also be able to know the type of objections, instant market research. Number three, that discovery call would allow me to get a tap immediately on some of the objections that my clients had, and it allowed me to start to create other offers based on those objections when I, of course, saw them continually. Snap. That meant that my one-on-one, I knew was for a certain person. Other people would come to me and they wanted to be in a group. They wanted to do it self-paced. And in the beginning, I thought, my God, I'm failing this coaching business because everyone else is, landing these like longer clients. I wasn't failing. That was the person that was attracted to me. I'm that way from my jaded experiences of in and out of hospitals, life support specialist. I mean, just with multiple issues my whole life. And many of you are the same. Remember, we work with human beings. We don't work with, robots or people that just, are a certain type of persona. Always remember this is about the psychology of your buyer. And it doesn't mean that we have to be douchey in sales. The beautiful thing is when you adopt a service mindset and you're thinking about your offers, you will start to say to yourself like, oh, okay, so you don't want to work for 3 months. I totally get it. What's stopping you? It's not salesy. You're just asking. And they're like, I really don't have the money. Like, we are so tapped out. My husband lost his job. I'm paying for a kid in college. I'm so overwhelmed. I know that I could put this money, but I'm so scared. I'm not going to hard push this person and say, I only have 2 spots. I'm going to say, yeah, I totally understand. My husband and I lost like our entire savings in 2009. And so, 2010, right before I graduated. I get that. And yes, do people make some investments that maybe could be traded for health? But I always look at, why do people not change? It's scary. It's overwhelming. The majority of people in the world have trust issues, shame. So we don't tell, we are secret keepers. That was my ideal client. Doesn't mean that's yours. Really think about the best per se funnel, which is really a conversation, a step-by-step journey for your work with me offers, from the awareness to the list building to your core offers, and step into the confidence zone because you've got this. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to be actually sending this out in an email today to my list because a lot of people have asked me about work with me offers. I'm also going to be adding another video that is going to show how to even price out your work with me offers. I've done this so many times, and I do highly encourage any of you, if you haven't downloaded our 60K, 85K, 100K map, and that means with template pricing, and also watch the videos where I explain in a 45-minute detailed video for each how to get there, please do that. And if you can't find that, join our free group, How to Niche Your Health Coach Biz. Tag me and be like, Rach, I need it, or say it right under this video, and I'll make sure that you get that link. I hope that you have an awesome day. I hope that this was helpful. And for any of you that are brand new coaches, or you've been coaching, you graduated, years ago, but the overwhelm was too much, drop the overwhelm. You can do this. You're smart people. And with that being said, it's great to see you guys today. All right. Have a beautiful one. And again, drop some comments below. Let me know if this was helpful and what additional videos you would love for me to do so that I can help make this process easier despite how many moving parts there are. I hope you have a beautiful one, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.